Now, before we can get into this viral leaked image, I want to start with the story along the lines of Donald Trump's Epstein scandal that he certainly wants covered up. He actually wants no one talking about. And Jasmine Crockett broke it all down right here.
Earlier today, Mike Johnson said he would swear in Adelita Grijalva whenever she wants. That was his words, as soon as she wants. And then a few hours later, his office put out a statement saying he's not planning to allow Democrats' newest member to be sworn in until her party agrees to end the government shutdown. One seems to have nothing to do with the other. Like, he could swear her in. They've sworn in Republican members. Do you think this really is about signatures on that discharge petition, the Epstein files?
This is absolutely about Epstein. This is absolutely about Epstein and not wanting to take that vote. It was my opinion that the White House was going to work on getting some of the Republicans off of the discharge. We only have 4. But, you know, another thing about this is that we could be working, Chris. We could be passing actual appropriations bills. The reason that we need a CR is because we've not passed the 12 appropriations bills. So we could come back and do some work, considering the fact that we are getting paid, so that, you know what? They can go ahead and send it to the Senate, and then they don't have to worry about a stopgap. Instead, they would actually have done their job.
It is important that we talk about Adelita Grijalva in the context of how scared Donald Trump is for a public vote in the House and in the Senate, because we know it's going to pass in the House on the release of the Epstein files. But I also think it's important for us to talk about this in the context of what is like a dry run at Donald Trump denying the results of the midterms. If Mike Johnson continues to refuse to seat a member of Congress who overwhelmingly won their race, and it wouldn't even matter if she won her race by 100 votes, by 10 votes, she won the race. Mike Johnson refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva is just an example of the many ways in which Donald Trump is figuring out how the next time he tries to steal an election, I can go off without a hitch. That is what Donald Trump is doing right now. This is a test case for him taking a shit on our democracy. And if we're not loud about it, if we don't push back, what's going to happen? We're just going to move on. It's going to be, oh, that's what Trump does. Oh, that's what MAGA does. Oh, we're used to it. We can't get used to it. We can't get numb to it, especially when people like Joe Rogan are now waking up to the fact of the Epstein cover-up. He did it right here.
The Epstein list, they keep voting against that.
Right.
Talk about a bad list. The list of people who said, let's protect people who like have done horrific shit to kids. You don't want to be on that list, but whatever's on that list must be so destabilizing. 51 to 49.
Okay, the Senate voted 51 to 49 to defeat an amendment that would have forced the Department of Justice to release all files related to Jeffrey Epstein. The vote was largely along party lines, with 2 Republicans joining all Democrats in supporting the amendment.
Oh, wait, not both sides. It was the Republicans voting against this shit.
It says 2 Republicans joining the Democrats in supporting the amendment to defeat it. So why are the Democrats interested in defeating it?
Well, let's ask. No, I think this is saying that the Democrats want it to come out and the Republicans don't.
Okay.
And party lines. Let's ask Perplexity. Why won't they release the Epstein?
So I was gonna. There's Eric Swalwell, who's I guess.
I read it wrong. Read it wrong. No. Okay. So the Democrats were not. The Democrats were pushing this. The Republicans fought against it. Okay. I fucked that up. So 51 to 49 is crazy. So they just voted along party lines. So they're probably told to do this.
Right. So what the fuck's in there, man?
If even Joe Rogan can't see this, even Joe Rogan, it is obvious enough that every American should be able to, that we should be loud in making sure that they're paying attention. And they will have to, because this administration at this point pretty much forces you to with their incompetence. These are the stupidest fucking people who have ever worked in government. And Pam Bondi with the leaked image we just saw prove that again as it relates to Epstein. As we can see right here.
Why are the Democrats interested in defeating it?
Well, let's ask. No, I think this is saying that the Democrats want it to come out and the Republicans don't.
General Pam Bondi needed a cheat sheet of attacks to dodge Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's tough questions. While sitting before the Senate Judiciary Committee Tuesday, Bondi repeatedly refused to answer questions from the Rhode Island Democrat about what happened to the $50,000 cash bribe from Tom Homan and anything related to Jeffrey Epstein. A Reuters photographer, Jonathan Ernst, captured an image of the inside of a folder of notes Bondi referred to during questioning from White House. But her notes had nothing to do with her work as the leader of the DOJ or even the embattled border czar. Rather, Bondi collected screenshots of social media posts, pre-written comebacks, and handwritten notes she hoped could give her a gotcha moment. We see the photo of the notes right here, and I want to get into some of the worst examples. Below her catalog of clapbacks, Bondi had written a handwritten note on Epstein, positing whether White House had ever accepted money from Reid Hoffman, who once invited Epstein to dinner. She used the tidbit to deflect from a question about whether the FBI had seized photos of Donald Trump with half-naked young women from the safe at Epstein's estate. It's disturbing, but not surprising, that Bondi didn't make actual preparations to answer tough questions from senators. It appears that the Attorney General felt no obligation to be accountable to the American people about alleged efforts to cover up for Trump, or his underlings, believing them all to be above
Besides
the law.
the fact that it's fucking nuts that Pam Bondi had to give herself like little hype-up notes and outs when pushed on Epstein, I think that's crazy. That photo is crazy. Those notes are crazy. I have to point out this phenomenon I see a lot with the right, which is they will be faced with something they've done wrong, try to point to examples of the left doing it, and say, hey, you did it and it was wrong, but then say they're not wrong. Okay, so let's do this in the context of Pam Bondi. Schumer White House says Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 10 years. Donald Trump was clearly a part of this criminal cabal of traffickers. What the fuck? What gives? Pam Bondi's response. Well, Senator Whitehouse, did you ever accept money from Reid Hoffman, a donor who once had dinner with Epstein? Because if you did, then you're a crook because Epstein. But Donald Trump was best friends with Epstein. Like, best friends, not a dinner. All the dinners, giving him money to buy women, to sell women, throwing parties, and pointing gleefully at underage girls, talking about their relationship ending because Epstein took his favorite one. Birthday books about enigmas and how you never grow up. The most perverted Peter Pan shit I've ever heard. And that's okay. So, if the Reid Hoffman thing is the gotcha, then what is 10 years of you're my best buddy? Let's go commit crimes and get matching shirts made. What is that, Pam? Can you explain that, Pam? Is that in the pre-written note card? You fucking idiot. The dumbest people are in our government. Are we serious? But this is what I see from the right. This is what I see from the right all the time. When I talk about Donald Trump clearly having dementia, clearly just having a mind that is made of pudding, all these Republicans want to say to me, well, Joe Biden. And you say what you want about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Joe Biden did not need to be running for president again in 2024. I think we can all agree on that at this point. But my response is, so if you think it's bad for a president to be exhibiting signs of cognitive decline, then why aren't you talking about Donald Trump exhibiting signs of cognitive decline? And none of it squares. And I don't want to try to reason with these people because they are unreasonable. But the Epstein of it all is just so shocking to witness how they do these gymnastics to pretend like they are on some right side of history. They are not. And it is obvious. They can't obfuscate it. They have to face it. But they can't without their one-liners. Pam Bondi, once again, you're a fucking idiot. Sorry for the language. Unsubscribe if you need to. We're just going to shoot it straight. It is insane. And it's why I'm glad there's more accountability coming. Not just in the Senate, but from members of Congress like Ro Khanna, who gave us an important Epstein update right here.
Well, Lawrence, you know Senator Whitehouse. He's not someone for drama or sensationalism. He was asking a simple, factual question, and Pam Bondi basically didn't respond. She just started hurling accusations against Senator Whitehouse, baseless accusations, and everyone else, because she didn't want to answer the question about whether there were pictures of Donald Trump with young girls. Obviously, there's a reason she didn't deny it. And then today she has the gall to tweet out that she believes in one tier of justice for all Americans. What about the rich and powerful men in the Epstein files? Obviously, she doesn't believe in one tier of justice for them.
As we go forward, we are now, as I think people know, one vote away in the House of Representatives from the House voting to have the Justice Department turn over the Epstein files. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who supports you on this, on getting the Epstein files, today talked about what's the delay? Is this part of why the Speaker is not bringing Republicans back into the House? Let's listen to what she said.
I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed. There is a new Democrat that's been elected that does deserve to be sworn in. Her district elected her. We have other bills that we need to be passing. And if it's to avoid the discharge petition, why drag this?
I need every Democrat still talking about this. There is a feeling in our messaging apparatus sometimes, and I don't always want this to be Democratic messaging critiques, but I think that's okay. That if we are not talking about the thing, then we are not talking about the right thing. And you can talk about lots of stuff. We can talk about the shutdown in healthcare, and also talk about Epstein, and also talk about ICE and Donald Trump's thugs who are proud boys who are oath keepers who just want to go brutalize minorities. We can talk about all these things, but please continue to talk about Epstein. We are certainly going to on this show. We're going to call Pam Bondi an idiot. Going to call her a fucking idiot. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, even through the rants, as always, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want to see me beat up on a MAGA moron, you can click right there. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time,